Okay, my other question, I don't think it's required, but I just wonder, do any of the defendants get any help with filling out those
Oh my
forms?
God.
It's a really confusing time, not that I want to say I've been arrested, but it's a really confusing time when you're arrested. And I don't know whether,
Don't
they
break
get
the
any
law.
help filling out the forms.
Well, the forms, through the law, we're required to give them in 6 different languages. The department has chosen to do in 26 different languages in case they don't speak, English. And if they do ask for help, we can help them read the form, read it to them.
Criminals.
We will never advise of any kind of legal advice to the inmates.
I'm interested too in people who go to court and they're released from the court. They're not in your custody in jail, although they are, in the courtroom until they're released. Do you know whether the Sheriff's Department is transferring the non-SB 54, the people that, I think as you put it, don't qualify, which means the crime is not serious enough that ICE needs to be involved? Is the Sheriff's Department transferring non-SB 54 defendants that are released directly from court to the ICE transport contractors?
No. We never transfer an inmate unless they're qualified. Whether it's from IRC, CRDF, or courts or stations, they must qualify.
Okay, I may have a few questions following, but thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Supervisor Solis.
Thank you. Yes, there were a couple of questions that were raised by the audience, and I wanted to know if you could go back and elaborate. I think one that was raised that I'd like to get more information on is with respect to the actual plan. Once individuals are released from jail, and you're saying that ICE will no longer be on our facilities, then what is your plan? How will that actually be implemented? I want to understand that, and then I have more questions.
That is something that we are currently working on because, as you know, we can't hold an inmate any longer than it takes for them to be released. In other words, we can't hold them for ICE. So if ICE is not present in our jails or one of their transport teams is not there present to take custody of the inmate and then custody transfer, then we must release them. So that is something we are currently working on to see how that is going to be implemented.
So the issue was raised by, I think, ACLU with respect to what's happening in another county and potential violations of the Fourth Amendment rights handing over. So how do you expect to review that, or what input are you getting from outside individuals on that, or how are you assessing it, and what is your timeline for that?
Again, the sheriff has indicated that towards the beginning of the year is when we're going to implement it. The same question was raised by the Public Defender's Office, the Fourth Amendment, and we do realize that we cannot hold an inmate any longer than necessary, so we will not do that. We will let him go if the ICE agent or the transport team is not there to pick him up. But again, it's a work in progress. We're still working it out, and we can get back to you as soon as we come up with a plan.
I'm interested in knowing what your time, you say the first of the year, that could be in the first quarter, the first month, the first 6 weeks, what do you all have in mind?
I believe the sooner or later, I believe by January.
Okay, that's good. My other question deals with posting of information when people are going to be released and they are undocumented and they're detained in our
Illegal.
jail. You talked about trying to restrict that public access. How will you go about that, and what plan of action do you have?
Well, like I said, we have 2 lists currently on our LASD, our website, that are release date. One is a release. Every inmate that is in our custody that has been sentenced and has a current release date is on that list. And the secondary to that is a pending release list, which once an inmate is in our release area or in the process of being released, they become part of that secondary list. So they could actually be on both lists. We are looking at that to check on its feasibility and whether we really need it or not. I know the public uses it. district attorney's office, other units do use that list.
And ICE uses it.
ICE doesn't.
So how will you be able to restrict their access or obtaining that information?
The only way to restrict them would be to remove the list from the website.
So you're moving in that direction?
We're looking at the possibility.
Wow.
So when
Don't
will
do
that
it.
decision be made?
I'm sorry?
When will that decision be made, approximately?
Again, probably, we'll hopefully get it done by the end of January.
Wow.
So January by,
Yeah, we're still trying to evaluate the protocols, the advantages. Taking it off entirely, it might hurt the community, it might hurt ICE. I mean, it's a combination of balance at this particular point.
I would hope that that the sheriff would enlist outside stakeholder input on some of that. I know that he has made it an effort, and he's talked about it in his campaign about soliciting support from the community. So I think it would be important for some of the groups that have come here and testified to be able to reach out to them as a recommendation.
How about
to do
crime
that.
victims?
And then I just have another series of questions as well. Cooperating with other task force organizations that are dealing with, I could think about arms and whatever it might be, when there are strike teams that go out in our communities alongside those task force sheriff deputies are often called there, because if they're going in and they may be looking at a suspect that has a criminal record, and I'm assuming that sometimes sheriff may not be aware that there may be other people in the same location, in an apartment, for an example, where other unintended individuals may be picked up, and that has happened in the past. How do you propose to deal with that?
Well, the patrol side, as I said, we as the sheriff's department do not enforce any of the civil immigration matters. Patrol, I understand we have task forces, us with ICE agents and other agencies, but our goal is only criminal activity, not civil immigration activity. Can it happen? Of course, but we would not be involved in that. That would be strictly up to us and what they do with those individuals.
Will there be any training provided to your deputies and officers with that, with respect to that issue? Because that has happened as recently as a few months ago, and we hear about it in the newspaper and the media, where individuals just happen to be in the same location are picked up, and we have, the display is obviously ICE, but we also have sheriff deputies in sight. So I'm just wondering what proactive steps will this sheriff take to help ensure that there's training that goes on?
There is training, and I believe about a year ago, then Assistant Sheriff Rivero made a video tape that was sent throughout the department to our department members about our policies, specifically our patrol policies and our task force policies, and I believe as part of the presentation that I put up there our policies on that. So yeah, we do continue to train our deputies.
And just to go back on a question my colleague raised regarding information from the Office of Immigrant Affairs, I understand they don't have anything in place right now, and I know their budget and their staff is one of the smallest in our county. And I would insist that the sheriff provide the support staff necessary, or training, and also materials that would be provided. Because I know OIS, and maybe our CEO could talk about that, but in my impression is that they have a very limited budget and won't have the capability of actually providing, I think, a more flourished attempt to give people the right information. And I would even go as far as saying that I think there's discussion of trying to have actual people from OIA inside the jail to talk to people, because there are many folks that are intimidated and may not read good English or Spanish to begin with, or any other language.
Oh my God.
And they need that type of assistance. So I would want to hear from our CEO about
Good Lord, why don't you provide them limo serves to the curb, a box lunch, and a puppy? This is outrageous. You're all criminals.
Escort him out.
Outrageous. God bless America. You guys all deserve to stand before a firing squad.
So inappropriate. This is a public hearing. Okay.
Sick bunch of freaks.
Supervisor Solis?
You got a lock in your house?
CEO could